Sarajevo možda nije po zapadnim standardima lijep grad, ali je izuzetno originalan i to je njegova ljepota. Oduvijek me privlačio miks kultura i epoha, ljudi i ideja koji je formirao njegov karakter. Jedna hibrid.
The lead performer is incredibly talented and is, I think, reflects a lot of what you normally see with high-functioning creative people, which is that they don't stay in one medium and they sort of spread their talents to separate mediums and try to find a way to combine them. And I felt like this entire piece was a reflection of her being a hybrid, as well as the concept itself sort of being a hybrid between a documentary, a short film, a music video, a sort of narrative introduction of who she was. And it pretty much works on every level. There's a really sort of spiritual and ethereal sense about the whole piece that really works well with the like natural elemental dynamics that are then contrasted with sort of like the urban and harder city-like settings that also led to influencing this particular artist and how she views herself and her artistry and how she tries to project it onto the audience. I felt like almost every aspect of who she was and the style of the film itself worked well in components and also worked well in as one whole idea. And I felt like most of the piece was about trying to blend all these ideas into one thing and not have all these contrasting ideas conflict with each other, but actually blend into something that created a more complex and more interesting whole product.
This piece was really clever with taking her entire concept of needing conflict to create her art, even starting in the very beginning where it's showing her old city and you go past the building and it's like red, but then it flashes to what it actually looks like without the red, and just using that red as a powerful color of the evil she would consider part of her art, the destruction. I love when she mentioned needing to use the beauty and harmony versus that destruction to create her music, because oftentimes it's seen that you can't bring the two together, but it can make the most beautiful art. The red chair in the forest and then later on in the mountains was visually beautiful. Another location I really, really liked was the black sand, the mountains in the back looking black, and the water with her there in red. It was a stunning shot. And then finally, with the juxtaposition of it all, I really liked how she was in the red to represent evil dress while playing the beautiful cello, and then wearing black for a nice peaceful walk in the forest, because those costume pieces are really showing the juxtaposition of like creating the art or having this piece, but always having a little bit of evil inside or destruction inside. She doesn't quite say evil, but that kind of notion.
I loved getting this profile of her, this kind of compressed profile, where we're seeing her visually, and she has very interesting, very striking presence. Where we have this levitating chair happening. We got this wonderful, looks like a train station that she's in the middle of. Wonderful photography, wonderful visuals there, and the music is beautiful. The cellist, as she says, she's a cellist and composer and singer. She says she's a hybrid. And this adds to it. 'Cause, on top of the music, we got striking visuals happening, a whole type of brand aesthetic that goes along with her art. And there's also spoken word, so a lot of wonderful things happening here that kind of give us an idea of the composition of this artist and what she's doing and what she's all about. And gosh, what wonderful visuals to be able to establish for yourself as a musician.
Feeling like a horror film almost, because you have the dark coloring and dark blood reds contrasting to the blacks, and you have this haunting symphonic melody of violins and cellos, over this soft spoken VO, and it feels like, ooh, is this going to be scary? And then it shifts. And then you have all these fast moving cuts with all this beautiful imagery. And it starts to feel like a floating art presentation, because every image is more beautiful than the next. Just beautiful imagery. You can tell there was almost felt like a photographic eye was behind the lens and the thought process and how this was shot. And this art that we're seeing just flows so beautifully with the art that is her beautiful angelic voice, just a very haunting, operatic sort of unique voice. And she herself is sort of presented as art with her instrument. And she states that I'm a hybrid. I am a bit of this, I'm a bit of that. I'm all of these things combined. And I thought that they did a really great job as far as bringing that visualization to life, bringing that art to life.
I enjoyed the use of the color red of the floating chair, the lighting, and her wardrobe. She has such a soulful singing voice, and the voiceover was very thoughtful in tone. This film shows how the lead's dramatic experiences in Sarajevo have shaped her and her art. The cinematography was also very well done in this piece, lots of fast-paced shots and excellent use of spinning, drones, and wide-open vistas.
I loved the red glass or the filter that they put on it. That just looked so cool. And how they had the suspended chair. That was another thing that I was really impressed with. I was also impressed with the music and how beautifully it went with the voiceover and the feel of the piece. It just, everything came together so nicely. Yeah, great job on the cinematography. The filmmakers should be really proud because this was gorgeous.